Questions. First, I'd like to say welcome to MMRTI, and it's a great organization. But I'll let you first introduce yourself and then give us a brief summary of what this organization is all about, what it intends to do, and then what's the upcoming event really is all about.
Okay, my name is Anita Koyier-Mwamba, and I work for Seattle Public Schools, but my proudest work is being a mother of 2 children and being a wife. And in the greater realm of being those 2 things, then the work of ASCAC has greatly impacted my life, and it's a passion for me. And maybe I should have you introduce yourself and then take it from there.
Dinastale. Thank you. My name is Brother Kwame Gillins, Senior, and I'm with the Good Pharaoh Foundation. I am a research analyst with ASCAC, the Association for the Study of Classical African Civilizations, and I'm a father, a proud father of 2 that are neighbors here in the community, and my wonderful wife, Winifred, who we had an opportunity to celebrate our 25th anniversary in Lalibela a few years ago. So I've become familiar not only with the community of Ethiopia, but also the country and the good food too.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a second now.
Thank you.
Yeah, obviously my experience is not that rich with Lalibela. However, I am from Kenya, and that has significant impact on the work that we do, because we know that area is very rich and is known as the origin of humanity. Right. And what that means to us is that it gives us a place of pride. Now, to address your question about the organization, ASCAC was founded some 32 years ago, and it was founded as an opportunity to reclaim and restore that which has been stolen, obfuscated, usurped, and corrupted by others who came in and assumed that Africans could not possibly have benefited the world with knowledge. And what we are doing, what this group of scholars did when they got together, was to say that is absolutely not true, because we have a continuity in our African history. What happened in the age of enslavement was simply an interruption of our history. And we need to understand that we now live here. The African Americans we found here are people who endured unmeasurable and very painful events. But those events also impacted us, because it was our families that were stolen and brought here. And having that understanding then says we have this collective cultural and ethnic identity. And as a consequence, conferences such as these give us a space to come in, remember who we are, and in our African-centeredness, restore for the sakes of our children, and ensuring that for the generations to come, that we are restoring them to wellness and to wholeness as an African people.
That's beautiful.
It's very important to create a space for this type of mental activity, this type of academic activity, because until we as a people create our own narrative that speaks to this, we will find ourselves victims, or shall we say consumers, of what is called the mainstream media. So we have, through the fortunate work of many academics, some of them locally from here you'll recognize, like Dr. Quintar Taylor of University of Washington, and many others from abroad, are coming to present papers, to sit on research panels, to have discussions, to have dialogue, to present their research about what Sister Anita was talking about here with regard to our overall classical African collective. And the exciting part about it for me is that we have the conference over several days. I don't know if you explained already, but the conference is from this month, March the 19th through the 22nd. So we'll have discussions and workshops and papers specifically geared towards history, history that we ascribe through classical African history out of the Nile Valley, which is where Ethiopia is. We start with Lake Tana, and then we go on down the longest river in the world, and we end up in Kemet, or we end up in Ethiopia. And so it is out of this valley that springs the very civilization that we talk about. This is where Lucy, also known as Denkenish, was found. So out of the birthplace of humans comes this entire population that we talk about. We have community conversations on Friday. I'd like you to talk more about that. Community conversations where the academics get together and talk about the issues dealing with the ancient past, but what are the contemporary issues? And we have a very important youth conference that's an element of this, a youth institute that we have a couple of workshops at. And then we also have a Sunday, it is called a Sunday worship or praise celebration as well. But could you, Anita, talk more about the community conversations?
Yeah, the community aspect.
So
the youth part.
the community conversations was born from the idea that we always hold these things, right? We have conferences and its specialties and specializations, and then the community doesn't get to benefit from what we discuss. The idea here is that we bring in Africa and her diaspora, and we have conversations about the theme of the night is Black History Matters, Ancient Wisdoms and Contemporary Solutions. The concept is that let's sit down and talk about what's happening with us today and draw from our ancient wisdoms. What are the things that your grandparents, great-grandparents, whatever legacy you have, what are those things that they used to direct and inform how we behave and how we make the most of our lives and how we make sure that hopefully our future generations, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, long after we are gone, will call our name with honor. That's an important African value. And so the hope is that by the end of the evening, we'll have an action plan. So this conversation is to bring dialogue that will be intergenerational. We don't want to leave our children out of that conversation. We often don't include our teens, but they need this more. And we need to be able to listen and hear what our children are telling us about their experiences and about the solutions they think about. And we need to honor and respect those solutions and incorporate those in everything we do. So.
Very good, very good. Yeah, you mentioned briefly the youth. And if I may, talk about the Youth Institute, just a little more detail. So with the Youth Institute, we've designed a breakout session on Saturday that will focus on youth learning. And we have a number of different workshops that we're going to be doing that allows the youth from the local community to come in and learn about some of the STEM research in STEM areas that are out there. I'm fortunate to have won the Black Engineer of the Year Modern Day Technology Leader Award.
Of course.
And I have done some research in this area. And because of that, a workshop that I and several others are going to be working with is on metallurgy of specifically the Nile Valley region. So we look at some of the original sources of metallurgy. We always hear about steel and iron age and all of these different elements that have impacted the world. Well, the first workings in metal was with the Nile Valley region, the kilns that were developed there and the sciences that were developed over time were brought into existence out of the Nile Valley. So we bring some hands-on experience that we can bring to the kids on how to work with metals and what has been their properties and sources and benefits to us in the world, other than it being a hard object, to understand the science behind it. And we also talk about how those same metals and those same materials have brought into life art as brought out by people from the Nile Valley region. And so that's going to be very exciting. And then we have a number of other workshops too. But I want to say this, it's very important to understand, we are not doing this just in isolation. We want to reach out to the community, specifically to the Ethiopian community that's here in the Seattle region. It's very important that we reach out to our partners in a way where they feel that they have reasons to come. We have a wonderful amount of free events that are going to go on. Out to our partners in a way where they feel that they have reasons to come. We have a wonderful amount of free events that are going to go on, which includes certain activities. Anita, can you share a little bit about some of the free workshops and some of the free activities that we have going on?
Actually, all those things are incorporated in the conference. Thursday night is an opening reception, and that will be where we are welcomed by Seattle Public Schools as a partner in this work. We'll be welcomed by some politicians. But it's an opportunity to come in and fellowship and share some time together in anticipation of what will take place thereafter. On Friday, we will have some incorporation of youth activities. We'll have an ancestral roll call, which is very important for people to remember those who've come before them. And that will be read by children. And we have steel pans present to sing the Black National Anthem. And then Friday evening, of course, is a free event, and that's the community gathering. And so those are the free aspects of this conference. But free or not, it really is critical that if you're seeking ways to support your children and support your community, this is a way to do it. It's in knowledge. When we value knowledge and wisdom, then we truly value that which gives us life.
Right. Okay. I think the last question I would have is there a website or a social media link that can be also posted on the screen where people can go and get more information?
Yes, I believe it's www.ASCAC, ASCAC, foursquare.org. So www.ascac.foursquare.org.
.foursquare.org.
Yes.
Okay.
This will be at what we're calling the Rainier Beach Campus, and we're taking advantage of Rainier Beach High School, South Lake High School, South Shore School, and the Rainier Beach Community Center. The address...
so is it by Rainier Beach, or is it in all
Yes.
these different
So
places? Okay.
on Friday, the conference will be at the Rainier Beach Community Center. And Friday evening, and for the rest of the conference, we move to South Shore Pre-K School, Pre-K 8 School. And the address there is 4800 South Henderson. Zip code is 98118. So 4800 South Henderson Street, Seattle, Washington, 98118.
I think in summary, this is a wonderful opportunity. I think I'd just call it, it's an opportunity to learn more about ourselves,
Yes.
through this journey of our ancestors and
Yes.
civilization that really sprang out of Africa.
Yes.
And hence, our knowledge of ourselves will be deepened.
And
as a result.
if I may say, Pazion,
Yes.
in closing here, it's essential that we begin to cross bridges, cultural bridges amongst ourselves, and to do what is necessary to work within each other's communities. One of the things that you've done recently is hosted the Triangle movie. I had a chance to see that. It was outstanding. And also you coming to our Kwanzaa event in the...
That was memorable.
Yeah, that was great. Fantastic to have Ethiopian representation during Kwanzaa. That was Very well received. And one thing too, MMRTI has done a great job of being there at these different activities. They've been wonderful in the community over the last, 10 plus years. They have been there on the scene, filming major activities for our sports teams, for our local community activities, and oftentimes doing this at their cost, and being also in the role of providing resources to youth in the community, giving them technical skills to, as you know, excel in the STEM areas. So thanks again also to MMRTI and also you, Pazion, for what you've done here and to allow ASCAC forefront on the front page of some of your news stories.
Well, thank you very much. I'd like to say thank you very much for this opportunity. I hope everybody will be able to go attend some of the activities and the events. Thanks so much again.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Once again, I just want to say Tanastaling, and my name is Brother Kwame Reginald Gillins Sr., and representing ASCAC is very special for me. I'm a research analyst there. And Dr. Joy Hardiman has done an incredible job of creating a platform for people to come and present their work, and also who has been the one who is chiefly responsible for bringing the ASCAC conference here. So again, we want to say thank you to Dr. Mama, Sister Joy Hardiman, who's a local scholar in her own right here in the Puget Sound area. Furthermore, I'd like to just talk for a minute about the value of these studios and this airtime that's being provided to us, for us by MMRTI. It is an incredible resource, invaluable resource, that has for more than a decade now allowed many people from the community to come in and present their ideas, to interview important individuals, to interview people who have accomplished certain tasks or achievements in their lives. It has been a fantastic thing to see MMRTI be a part of bringing the message of what the community is doing to the rest of the world. And I personally want to thank Brother Asaye and others at MMRTI, especially the students who have been so professional as I have seen them in the community, filming different events, learning the different skills, not only behind the camera, but also the editing software, splicing things, putting it together, posting it on the websites and posting it on airtime. Fantastic. And the way I understand it, this reaches around the world, even the broadcast. So this is fantastic. And I just want to commend MMRTI for bringing local events, sporting events, political events, celebration type events to the Seattle community at large. Thank you very much, MMRTI. From Brother Kwame, I'ma say ganalo.
Good evening. This is Anita Koyier-Mwamba, and I'm here to say hongera and congratulations. Hongera means congratulations in Kiswahili. To have an effort and a feat of this caliber is quite exceptional, taking into consideration that this is a program that supports young people, that tells us it trusts, believes, and invests in youth and their genius. And I just want to honor the work that you do. And it's my prayer and my hope that you have many, many more years ahead of you, because this work is critical, knowing the climate in which we live right now, and knowing that it's an opportunity for our children who ordinarily would not be heard to be heard in the way that they choose to be heard, but also to provide mentorship for them and to provide a loving space in which to work. They don't have to go to hostile environments. And for that, we honor you, and we look forward to our continued partnerships. Thank you so much, Asai. This is incredible work. I've seen you film dancers, and these young ladies are now young adults, the ones that I first met, and I'm so proud of the work you're doing. So once again, congratulations and happy anniversary.